Hello, this is Grant, and we're back to another episode of Dead Rising 2 Master Run. Today we're going to be killing some more time. We just got to get these guys back to the safe house, and then I think we still have till 7 a.m., so a couple hours to get whatever we want done until we have to actually give the Zombrex to Katie. Which isn't too bad. I'm going to finish up, give her gifts, and then probably just mess around with some easy PP bonuses. Anything I can do to expedite this leveling. Alright, we just need this donkey. I don't get the point of the art on some of these guys. I think the elephant is a jab at, like, politics. Not a jab, but, like, it's a political party's mascot, and it does seem to be wearing a little USA hat, so... It seems like it has a bit more care put into it. I don't think they made anything by it, but... yeah. These make terrible weapons, by the way. I don't know, but I think in either one or this game, there is a chance that there'll be items inside. I'm a little concerned right now is because my donkey's kind of crowd surfing over there. And like I said in another episode, if they are too damaged, Katie will not take them. And you can tell that by if there's a broken seam on the bottom. Which it looks like we're pretty good. I'm like, you're going to see it rolling around there. It's like, ah. I really hate having to deal with heavy weapons in this game because it's just constantly like there. That zombie barely gets a whack. It's completely insignificant in terms of damage. But it's enough that you have to drop your item. And it takes very long to pick up for whatever reason. So it's this endless cycle of drop, pick up, drop, pick up. I'd like to see that changed. Or just maybe have different like levels of it. Because I know like when I have the bull skull, it takes almost like a full second to put on, and you drop it instantly. So maybe just say, like, if it really is like a crazy heavy weapon that's hard to manipulate, maybe, but also for simple stuff, just maybe have it a sliding scale rather than just instantly drop it on one hit.
Stick close.
Trying to get my survivors to catch up as I walk. That's what another downside of you can do a lot of cool tricks to save time, but you're only as fast as your survivors. So that's one reason I picked up the leadership book. And if you have a wheelchair and one survivor, always combine them because you will fly by. If you want to go to the trouble, you can actually combine a wheelchair with the motorcycle outside, I think. And that saves you a ton of time if you happen to have a wheelchair on you. That's a perfect example of when would you ever have a wheelchair. It's a great option. It's a great combo. But the circumstances that you have a wheelchair are at the motorcycle and have only a single person to save and escort. That's not very common. I'm sure if it was necessary, like it was a very hard game and like later on in the game when you needed to escort the reporter from that area, it'd be nice, but it's kind of hard to find a wheelchair at that point. Plus, you have plenty of time. I don't consider it necessary. It'd be kind of interesting to see if someone actually did a speed run of Dead Rising. Because it'd be weird. You could have as much time as you want in any particular area, because you can't make it go faster, but it would all be about managing cutscenes and loading times. I know that when it comes to speedrunning games, one of the most annoying things for people is like loading times and how long cutscenes are, because it really is just affected by what you're playing it on. And usually it works on consoles because like all Xboxes are standard, so it's not going to be like, well, you drop for the $700 or better example like a $2,000 PC, so you're just going to have instant load times and better times than the dude who's running it on his laptop. So generally, that's not an issue, but I know it is also a thing if you're running older games that just because of like clock cycles and memory stuff, you might have cutscenes that run shorter because they need to be like a smaller file size. So then just innately playing, if you have like a game you can beat in 5 minutes, a cutscene that's 10 seconds shorter, that's a big deal. So I almost wonder how you'd have to do that. What would be important about Dead Rising is saying what the requirements for it would be, because there's actually, I know at least once a world record speedrun of Dead Rising 1 I talked about before, where He's like, Dead Rising 1, like, no damage taken, level 1, world fastest possible time, got like one of the best endings, quote unquote. And then it's really just, he starts the game where in Dead Rising 1 you started on the same helipad you exit, so he just waits the entire time and he gets the helicopter ending and just, oh, that's it. And he never takes any damage because there's no zombies there. So that was kind of neat. It's kind of cheeky, it's funny. But obviously you need to avoid that because he's right, you can't beat that time because it's just how fast the game runs. So now we're just going to go kill some time. I'm looking for some different environmental stuff I can do. You can go do Zombrex posters, but you need a guide to do those, and they only give you 1,000 PP each until you finish the final one. You need it for an achievement, but I don't think it's worth it to do just for PP. In fact, I don't know if there's any particularly good way to farm PP other than saving people. I suppose the best way is just to go around and do like semi-collectible-ish stuff, like go do all the mini games, go get all of Katie's gifts. At least in my mind, there's no like awesome way so that you get so much PP every time you do it, and you can do this so fast, which is unfortunate because you do need a lot of PP to hit max level. It doesn't seem that bad because there are 50 levels like you need to hit, so they break it down. Like you're constantly getting new upgrades, and basically every time I like bring a survivor back, I get 1 to 2 levels. But still, the progress from 1 to 50 does take a while. And there's not anything crazy you need to unlock at the higher levels. Like if you're doing 7-Day Survivor, I know like at level 50 you get Zombie Walk in Dead Rising 1, which is pretty much worthless unless you're in Infinity Mode, in which case it's absolutely amazing and completely necessary in my mind. But I don't think Dead Rising has anything like that, unless you're not doing that great at the game and really need a little bit more help. I do think this game plays a little bit better at a higher difficulty level. Like when I was going through 1, I was having a little bit more fun with zombies when I was slower and weaker. I think they should change it a little bit if they were going to go for that, or like it'd be kind of cool if they had like a hardcore mode where they limited your health, but maybe don't like still let you have plenty of item slots. In my mind, the best way to do it is to give slots for certain item types. So like you can't carry around a full inventory of food, like because 12 healing items is going to get you pretty far in this game. But on the other hand, you don't want to cap it where if you want to use magazines, they innately like you need weapon slots. To be fair, I thought about using some of the other magazines because like the bladed magazine, which makes them last 3 times as long. Well, in a way that is really efficient because it turns 2 slots into 3 essentially. 1 for the magazine, 1 for the item, instead of 3 of the item. But that's really dependent on how often you can get a good bladed weapon, for example. So if I'm taking the trouble to make these knife hands all the time, I could easily do a great strategy because like your first bladed weapon with that magazine is efficient. Your second and third, it's just you're rarely gonna run out. Unfortunately, there's no big equivalent of the small chainsaw in this game. You can get the heavy chainsaw, which is from the Here Comes the Groom scoop. That's not that bad. It's a heavy weapon, so you drop it, but there are 2 books you can get for it. And it's something I might give a try sometime. It's not the best psychopath weapon, but it's a really good mobbing weapon for zombies, so to speak. It's just clunky. Like if you want to carry it with you, since you can't put it in your inventory, you have to like find some good way to manage it where, okay, you have to pick up a survivor, take them, go back, get the chainsaw, then fast travel. It's just a little bit annoying. And there's no real equivalent to that. Like, I wish there was something. It is kind of nice, just the convenience, where even if the chainsaws weren't one of the highest damaging items in the game, just being able to always have a weapon on you, that's pretty cool. Or go the other way, like, they don't need to last that long, but let them have, like, really high damage you can bank, and just put them pretty far away, or don't let you get them too early on. There's pretty much always vodka here, which is important for a later scoop. I usually use it to heal up because it's faster than eating jelly beans in the security room. And also later on, like Sven's gonna need some vodka, so you can go there. Or there's actually vodka right by him usually too. It's a dumb little quest. But we'll talk about that when we get there. We're essentially waiting out the timer until Kay needs Zombrex at 7 a.m. I like that they had that little like 5-segment display that tells you like how long is left in the next second. So that's kind of cool. I think it does that, but now that I'm watching it, it doesn't seem to line up. I had originally thought it was like it fills up and then when it empties again, that's when the next second occurs. But it seems to be a little bit off. Which, unfortunate, I thought it was a cool feature. But we're just gonna go ahead and hang out here. It's one of those things, by the time we left, it would just be a bunch of long cutscenes. We'd have to come back immediately. And since Katie's Zombrex doses start new things in the story, we want to get it. We want to actually get it in at like 7:01 so we can start doing the next thing. But this is really what I mean. Just like it'd be nice if I could just say, "Oh wait," because I'm not gonna leave with 15 minutes left. I'm not gonna go do anything. Maybe I can go heal up or save or change my outfit. But if I don't have to do those things, which I could do voluntarily anyway, it'd be cool to just be like boop and advance. So that's a small critique of mine. Like I like the time system overall, but they need a little bit of leeway. Because the waiting really sucks in this game. Not that it... For the average player, it's probably not even that big of a deal. Because you're always... If you're bad at this game, then you have plenty... you don't have a shortage of things you need to do. I've been thinking about doing a video talking about like what my setup of this is. And seeing if I could get any pointers from anyone watching. I think I've gotten pretty good. I tried to make a bunch of improvements, but I think I still have a couple more things, important steps I need to take before I'm really ready to do this consistently and on a larger scale. Man, I can just go back and think about when it took like all day to make one video, and now I'm trying to do like an entire series in a weekend. It's crazy stuff. I think this is actually one of the times I'm like, I had to quickly go like check something, make sure I'm still good before I commit to this. But I think it's I have to save after I give Katie's Zombrex. They're really kind of random on when they have you save. Like the optional saves, I think, that occur at the end of big scoop missions. So, because it seems like sometimes it's halfway through, sometimes it's not till the end. Other times it seems like, man, you just hit this really hard, awesome challenge, but they don't give you a save, and they just dump you into this really hard-to-fight area, and you have to go back and figure it out. In general, I think Dead Rising's save system could be better. I think it could do well with an autosave. Like, I think more of like a Dark Souls, which constantly saves for you, so if you want to change it, you have to go back and restart the whole thing. That might be a little bit too brutal, but I think it would be kind of a good fit with the time mechanic if they gave you other stuff to kind of advance time with it alongside that.
I still can't believe you were on that show. It's so cruel.
Yeah, I know. But I didn't have a choice.
Listen, there's really not much we can do now except wait. I'll call you if I see anything.
They always have great shots here of when a cutscene ends. But it looks like there's been no major advancements this time. Usually it's like they use it to call you back and, oh, while you're here, oh, look, oh, TK's attacking the city. But pretty calm day. So, yeah. This is going to be the start of day 2, which is usually some more rising action in the series. Like, day 2 for Dead Rising 1 was when essentially all of the cases occurred. This one's a little bit different. It's really confusing because it's like the game's only, quote unquote, 3 days, like 72 hours long, but it starts Dead Rising 1 starts at midnight, not midnight, noon, and I think this one starts at midnight. Or I guess, it starts at midnight and goes to like, because the tire's at 4 a.m. So it's a little bit confusing me all the time, where like in Dead Rising 1, you had the first day, but the first day was only 12 hours long. And I think that's kind of with this one, where like what some people consider the first day is like the first 24 hours, or some people consider it just like the first literal day. Like it makes more sense, like, because like there's the actual like dates. Like you go from like what 9/27 or so, and like that's one day, 9/28's another. Other times, like I count it more of like between like the Zombrex doses, because that's really what kind of caps and ends the day. So I think an important little fact about this cutscene is that Chuck probably knows what queens do, because zombies are known. They probably have safety courses about zombies and fighting them. But if you're not familiar with Dead Rising, zombies are not a virus. Rather, they are a parasite that was originally developed. Well, I guess it might be a virus, but it's spread by bugs. But it was a way that they're trying, the U.S. government, or at least some project they're funding, was trying to improve the rates and like how much it costs to grow cattle. Which, actually, if you go back and look at the beginning of the game, I don't know if I told this, there's a little news report they play at the beginning of the game before the cure statement, and it talks about beef shortages and some other just like little interesting stuff. It's only there for a little nod to, I guess, the first game, and doesn't have an effect on zombies or anything. But I think it's kind of neat. But anyway, the details are a little bit murky. But essentially, they developed this thing, and either the bugs were used on it, or I'm guessing personally what I think happened is it was down in like South America or something. They were raising these cattle, and the local insect population probably like bit the cattle or something, and then they got it. Well, then they, like, the combination of the bugs and this virus are what actually created this zombie plague. Because all of a sudden now these zombies could easily spread, but the parasite, like, is actually the larva of these bugs growing in like the spine of these guys. So that's actually a way it probably, like, this virus is probably actually harmless on its own, but when you have like a bug constantly injecting into you, maybe, or like it compromises you some other way, that's how it actually works. You can get a PP if you roll a 7 on these dice. Fun fact. I assume this is a craps board, so that's what I'm trying to go here. But it's dice. It's random. I think you actually need to roll a 3 and a 4. I don't know if you can roll a 6 and a 1. And actually, 7 is the most common thing to roll on a pair of dice. That's a little fun fact because it has the most combinations. I learned that by playing Settlers of Catan. And statistics. Woo. I remember I always had this debate, like, I would roll like a 4. It's like, so is it better, if I have a 4 and a 2, should I keep the 4, or should I go for a 2 and a 5? I don't know, these dice love 4. I think it's actually a little bit biased on this because you probably pick the dice up in the same way each time. So if you throw it, you need to throw it differently, otherwise you will result in the same. I think I actually got it that time. I just picked it up too fast. I think I had a 7. But I was thinking at the time that maybe you have to actually get him at similar times. And there we go, 10,000 PP. We killed some time waiting for our next mission. But yeah, so going back to the bugs. So you'll see on queen zombies, who they kind of like wave their hair and flail around, you can actually see the bug glowing bright red in their neck. And if you kill those, they drop a queen, and whenever you smash a queen, it will kill all non-queen zombies in the area. It functions as like a zombie-only grenade, which is amazing to carry around for saving survivors, because they'll always get bunched up on, or be like if they're under attack when you arrive, just toss one there and you'll be fine. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more, check out one of the links below. Until next time, don't take your zombie safety for granted.